Here we go. Hey guys, welcome to the show, Artists in Progress. Today, this is episode numero uno, and we're very excited. So before we get started, let me introduce everybody, and we got one more person popping in shortly here. With me today, I have Michael Pritchard, aka Banff Art.
Hello.
Banff, how you doing today, buddy? You wanna go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah. My name is Michael Pritchard, aka Vampart. I don't know. I like to draw. I like to read comic books. A lover of artwork, and currently in the middle of a move. This is fun.
Yes, perfect time for you to do this. Definitely. And then also with us today we have Mental Beard, Das Beard. How you doing, Mental Beard?
I'm doing all right. I'm here. Hey, no talking during my segment.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I'm here. I'm all right. Glad to be here. As best I can.
Rock on. Awesome. You want to give a little intro about yourself?
No, I don't want to.
No.
What can I say?
We're gonna start.
I'm an artist. I draw things. I'm working on a comic book late in life, but never too late. And excited about taking my hundreds of years of reading comics and actually making something that I think is good. I mean, I'm enjoying making it, and I think it's a good story. And yeah,
awesome, dude. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. But it's very exciting, very exciting. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me on the show. Hopefully, this is going to be a rolling segment every Tuesdays at 8:30 ish. If we can get things ironed out and my computer can cooperate. And then for those of you who are new and don't know me, my name is James. I'm Sketching the Beast, and I've been a comic artist for about 9 years now. Finally on the spectrum of actually doing comics these last couple of years here. Before I was kind of more of like a Comic-Con artist, and doing like fan art and stuff. So I'm very excited to kind of be in the scene, working in the indie industry now, and working with fellow writers and other creators, these guys included. We got a couple projects planned for later this year. So I'm very excited to get all that rolling, get this rolling. And we have tons to talk about today. And we got Banff here. He's going to be drawing, working on some stuff, and we're going to talk about, some inspirations and stuff. I'll also be drawing along at some point today, once our secondary host comes in and starts, picking out some of the chats and going from there. So, I guess we'll get into our first topic, guys. So we wanted to talk about a little bit about our inspirations in our where we came from as far as artists and stuff like that. So Bam, looks like you're pretty prepared, boss. You want to go ahead and go first?
You talking to me?
I am talking to you. Yes.
My bad.
Work out the kinks on the first episode.
It's a work in progress for artists in progress. You know what I mean? It's good. You're good.
Yeah, we're podcasters in progress. There we go.
Yeah, podcast in progress.
Yeah, I came around pretty much. I got start in reading comic books and artwork thing. Pretty much when I got to the States. I think I had tonsillitis at one point in time, and after I came out of the anesthesia, I read comic books, and my dad, I guess my dad was like a science fiction fan and everything, and he liked artwork and he liked fantasy artwork. So pretty much I had a grip of comics to flip through while I was healing, and I found a local liquor store that had a spinner rack, and that's pretty much, where I started my love of comic books. Um, I would probably say like the main influences or my influences were, um, I don't know, the covers and the interiors of GI Joe. Mike Gazette covers, and I'm really not too sure. I can't remember who was drawing the interiors of GI Joe at the time. But I was also picking up classic X-Men, which the covers and interior cover was Arthur Adams, and I think the interior art were Dave Cockrum and John Byrne. And then at the same time, I was reading concurrently Uncanny X-Men, which at that time was by Silvestri. So those were pretty much my early influences were Mike Zeck, Mark Silvestri, Arthur Adams. And of course, every single one of them, they have a different, vibe, a different style, So essentially what I'll go through are some earlier ones and then some later ones. After comic books, of course, I found out about Frank Frazetta, and you find out that Mark Silvestri and, John Buscema and everything like that, they were all really kind of gravitating, of what Frazetta did. But essentially, Mark Silvestri's artwork back in the day, Uncanny X-Men, was full of, acting. I don't know if you could see this or not, but like character acting. This was before the big pinups and everything like that. So these were in the 80s. Chris Claremont was writing them. So again, lots of heavy blacks. I believe this one was inked by Dan Green. The majority of Mark Silvestri's career, especially early on, was inked by Dan Green. And like I said, the story beats, the writing, Chris Claremont, and the illustration techniques of Mark Silvestri and style of Mark Silvestri. I would say the kinetic energy, a lot of it was adopted was adopted from John Buscema. So Mark Silvestri is very much was heavily influenced by John Buscema early on the X-Men. Then after that, he turned to more of a Bernie Wrightson kind of style, the latest Batman and Joker Deadly Duo, so a lot of finer line work, not necessarily hatching or cross hatching. There's some cross hatching, but this one is more directional line work for sure. So, like I said, the majority of them, a lot of artists and stuff like that will go ahead and change styles or, evolve. So, Mark Silvestri there. Before him, that I didn't know about, but Barry Windsor Smith was a very influential artist. And this is before Photoshop and snowflake brushes. So of all the snowflake and just the cross hatching of Barry Windsor Smith, and just essentially the penmanship that he is like fantastic. Again, think about how long that takes to draw all that snow, per panel. But yeah, anyways, Barry Windsor Smith as well is another influence, and I'll try not to make this too long, too late. A little bit later on after Silvestri, this is not really an issue that I wanted to showcase because I'm not really influenced at this juncture of Jim Lee, but he had the kinetic energy and everything. But this is kind of like when the figure work started to stiffen up a little bit. But Jim Lee, whenever he came in, from like Punisher War Journal, then he came into Uncanny X-Men, especially with the Acts of Vengeance storyline. Had like again great kinetic energy. Here's a DeLuca effect I was talking to you about, James, with Gambit. So, Jim Lee had a meteoric rise, right? 8 million copies or something like that of X-Men and stuff and blah, 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 blah. But, essentially his influences were in John Byrne, Neil Adams, later on these guys would adopt, like Bernie Wrightson and Bernie Wrightson, also Frank Frazetta, and Bernie Wrightson, Frank Frazetta, as you can tell, the line work, essentially the things that draw me, Bernie Wrightson, the things that draw me, Frank Frazetta, is ultimately the line work and the drama and the just like the sheer amount of detail that they can put in, and it looks good. It's still very, very organic, heavy shapes, movement, drama. I'm pretty much a fan of Wrightson and Frazetta, even though everyone thinks Frazetta with his, hopefully it doesn't flip to any movies, but Frazetta, of his, his painted work, right?
Yeah, I can't go wrong with little Frizz.
Great paint. Yeah, great paints and everything, great oils and everything like that. But again, with him, he creates movement. He creates intensity and all the cool stuff. But again, I was more or less drawn, forgive the pun, to his line work. His line work is just fantastic. His brush work, the amount of, again, movement, even though people are standing still, they still have the energy, the motion, like the heightened, of,
Sorry about that.
that's kind of like what I like. That's why I love comic books, right? And it's because it's just, I don't know, man. It's just it's just awesome. It's just awesome, It's like completely can take you to a different world if done properly. Stop within an image and everything, and you can make it. You can just get lost in the scene. So that's me. Hold on 1 second. You guys continue. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that.
All right. Yeah, well, that works out great. We'll move on. All right. Manelbeard, you want to talk about yours for a second, boss?
We're talking about our inspirations, or what do we like?
Talking about what inspired you to start creating, or what are your influences as far as artists and stuff?
So like I go way back with some of the stuff that, like, I started reading. When did I start? Maybe in the X-Men. And I think one of the first comics I got was it was X-Men, where they were first encountering the Brood, and it was I don't remember if it was the cover that had Wolverine transforming partially into a Brood, or if it was I think it was the one where Storm was metamorphosizing into the Brood. And like Mike, I would just kind of go to the I don't know, Royal Farm store or something that was near me, and they had one of these spinner racks, and so I would just grab up a bunch of stuff. Man, I kind of miss that kind of experience where you could just kind of go into a shop and pick up. It's not great for collecting, but just the I don't know, just kind of like the chance of what you're going to find, just that kind of anticipation of, oh, you're going to find some really cool covers or something. But anyway, yeah, I kind of that kind of what started me out, and then I just escalated from there, and then we eventually got to the point where we were driving. I would find a local comic shop, and that's where I really started getting into, like, and I was like, I got into Firestorm, I got into Swamp Thing was a big one that really pulled me in. What else did I get into then? My brother was more into the Batman kind of stuff. Oh, probably Thor. I was reading Thor. And I was doing a lot of superheroes at the time. Some of the things that really shaped me, I guess, art styles that I really kind of were attracted to were things like Alan Davis. I really liked his style. He's got a super kind of clean, but it's like a smooth style to his look.
Yeah.
I really like Walt Simonson for like especially his Thor stuff was just amazing to me. Just like he had like a line work that especially his energy just had a real organic kind of crackle to even like the people. They just had like a linear crispness to it that I thought was very appealing. What else? Paul Smith on X-Men. I thought his style, like his drawing of the X-Men, to me, like really framed my passion for comics. Like I mean, it was his Kitty Pryde that I had a crush on. Like all the Kitty Pryde since then don't even hold a candle to Paul Smith's Kitty Pryde.
No comparison.
But lately, I would say, I mean, I still like those guys. I mean, I still follow. They are still a big influence somewhere deep inside my core. But like the thing that really shaped me most recently is, and I know I've talked about this before, but like I was just kind of like, I was kind of getting into a lull with modern comics. Like Marvel and DC just weren't doing it for me. I don't know if it's a phase or something, but I just got to a point where I don't really dig like ultra cross-hatching detailed look so much as anymore as I do. And I'm always been a fan of cartoons, so maybe that that factors into it. But
Yeah.
I tend to gravitate more to the clean, smooth looks and like the Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri kind of stuff. It stopped. Like when I was in the 90s, I was really into it. I was like, oh man, this is super cool. But I don't know, just the more time went on, I just kind of got bored with it, and then got to the point where I just kind of find it, especially now, I just find it distracting. If there's just a lot of stuff going on, it almost makes me feel tense to see a lot of panels that way. So
Yeah.
so then I kind of started weaning back like from reading comics because it was just like I couldn't find any of the superhero stuff that I really enjoy. I tried a bunch of different titles and I couldn't find anything, and I don't know why I didn't consider Image or Dark Horse. I mean, I would pick up one here and there, but it still wasn't anything great. And then I found Invincible. And I can actually no, I take that back. I found the Astounding Wolfman, called, and that was Jason Howard and what's his name? Who's the writer? Walking Dead dude.
Oh, Kirkman?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, I started reading that, and it was like a completely unusual. It's really kind of quirky, and Jason Howard has steered away from that look. I mean, he's got even more detailed now than he was then. When I entered then and started reading, I was like, man, this is wow. This is like really cool. It's simple. It's crisp. It's clean. It's got a unique style to it. I started reading that, and I got pulled into the story because it's like it's sort of monsters, but also superheroes. Yeah. And that led me to finding Invincible. And then I started reading Invincible, and I got completely sucked into that one. And it was Ryan Otley's art style that was just like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I like. I find it pleasing. It wasn't like overly rendered panels. It was just enough information for me to kind of get really pulled into that world. And so I just really studied his style, his look, the way he composed panels, the way he kind of broke out his storytelling sequentially. Spent a lot of time just like zooming in on panels just to see like, what's your line work doing? What are you doing here? How are you approaching this kind of thing? So yeah, that was the stuff that really ignited. Like I really want to kind of get back into comics and and doing something for myself. And I kind of it really pushed me to like experiment. Like I just kind of started getting into like more exaggerated, more dynamic poses, really kind of pushing what I wanted to do to have fun with it. And so, and then the other person that, and I just got, I don't know if can you see me on camera?
Yeah. Yep. I got you on highlights.
So then I got
divider, by the way. It's very feng shui.
So then I got, I don't know if you can see it, but
Screwy Tuesday.
Screwy Tuesday. Yeah, and it's got like all his stuff, like that he just randomly would post, but it was just like really cool. He's got superhero stuff, but it was just like, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah,
but he just has a really cool style, and I was just like, man, that's exactly what I want to see right now. It's just like it's got just enough information on there to balance out what's in the foreground, what's in the background. It was just really wild. So that, I mean, there's between those two guys is exactly kind of capture the tone of where I am as an artist at the stage.
Heck yeah, bro. Well, yeah, dude. Thank you for talking about that and your influences and stuff. And Sean, yeah, Sean's got a really cool like style. It's a perfect blend of like comic-y / like toony. It's just great.
Yep.
We got Banff. Banff is back. Banff missed Mantlebeard's thing. But anyways. So I guess we'll move on. We'll talk about my influences and stuff like that, and then we can kind of start talking about what we're going to work on and chat about today. And so I have so many influences, and then like I feel like it's the basic white girl answer of comics is where I'm going to start with. It's going to be Jim Lee. Like it's like a pumpkin latte. You know what I mean? At least like it's like 90% you ask them, and you're like, oh, who's your influences? And like. Yeah. I guarantee 9 out of 10 people are going to say Jim Lee. Just like Banff was talking about too. Like he liked a lot of his earlier stuff. I don't have his. I had his book somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I have his art book somewhere. But I love Jim Lee. I love Jim Lee up till about 10, 15 years ago. I don't love his newer, like more realistic style. Sometimes he tries to balance it a little bit, but there we go. Okay. I see. We got Chrissy joining us. So, all right, give me 1 second, and we'll bring you in, hon. So yeah. Sorry, where was I? I got distracted because I can hear myself. I don't know. Can you guys hear me twice?
Sometimes.
Okay. I don't know. That's not a good thing.
It's the first episode.
Yeah. So Jim Lee, we got. I'm also a pretty big fan of Ryan Ottley's style, but it's actually that's more recent. Believe it or not. I mean, I like super fell in love with the Invincible series. I have the first two, like, what do you want to call them? Omnibuses or mini graphic novels, or I don't know what they're technically classified as, but I loved those two.
Like a compendium or something.
Yeah. I got the first one, and then I started watching the animated series, which kind of actually got me looking at his stuff, and then I realized, like, oh, I've liked him for a while. I got Haunt, like, I don't know, 5 or 10 years ago. I read it, and I loved every minute, every second of it. And so I'm like, oh, apparently I'm an Otley fan, and I didn't even know it. We got Otley, and then we got what's his name? Jorge Jimenez, I believe is that his name? I might be saying his last name wrong, but He's a fantastic artist for DC and stuff. He is great. And then finally, I'll say David Finch. David Finch has inspired my during the last, I don't know, 5-10 years now, honestly, since he started doing his YouTube videos. And admittedly, I didn't know about Finch before. Yeah, once I was like, oh, I've seen his stuff. And then I'm like, oh, so then, I just kind of started picking up some of his mannerisms here and there as far as how I render and stuff. And I think that propelled me a lot. And then I have to give a little bit of insight and say, I gotta admit, it's Ryan Benjamin has to be on that list, man. I mean, he's taught me a lot with his classes and stuff, with the few classes I was able to take. So yeah, he's a special mention.
Yeah.
All right.
Very cool.
All right, we're gonna bring Wifey in, and she will kind of moderate the chat and add her 2 cents every few moments. So once she is. All right, welcome, Chrissy, Crafty Quirk.
I have to convey. I'm sorry.
Hold on one second. What's up? What do you say? Oh, is it being weird? I have no audio. But I can hear you just fine. That's weird. Okay, hold on one second, guys. She's having technical difficulties.
All right.
All right. Hold on a second. Audio source, that's the output. Audio output. Why can't you hear us? Oh, well, that would help.
Oh, there's some feedback.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. Hey. That's weird because I had her on mute. Hold on, let's see. Okay. Oh, her battery's dying. It's telling me her battery is dying. That's crazy. We're using a fancy software here. All right, so I can't hear yet. There she is.
I'm gonna guess this is gonna get taken out in post anyway.
Yeah. When I repost it, yes. We are live right now.
We are live.
All right. So, anyways, welcome, guys. This is Chrissy, aka Crafty Quirk. And she will be our co-host.
Okay.
So, yeah. Honey, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello. I'm here for the sarcasm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here to read. That's what I'm here for.
Perfect. So it's a wonderful world.
We're all about the reading.
Yes, reading. All right, so let me switch my camera over. I'm gonna start working on some doodles. Chrissy's gonna keep an eye on the chat. Hold on. So, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Make sure she's got the right link.
I noticed nobody said Alex Ross, did they?
Oh no, I'm not an Alex Ross fan.
Are you allowed to admit that?
No, you're not allowed.
I'm allowed to like who I like, who I want to like. I'm just saying. I don't know. It's so like the same issue I have with Jim Lee's newer style with like the more realistic is, I don't know, Alex is too realistic for me. Like it takes me out of the fun fantasy that is comics, right? If I wanted to see, some realistic art, I'd go to an art museum or something. It's not really why I personally read comics.
Yeah.
The
exception I would say to that was Kingdom Come for me. Like his Kingdom Come, Superman, and Captain Marvel, because I'm not referring to him as Shazam. That really, those were real people when I was reading that. It's like that to me. That was like the personification of both those two characters. Was Banff gone?
Nope, he's out.
So sad. No kidding. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. So, the experience of reading comics all my life has led up to a point where I know. I guess I can give it a little bit of background, like how it started. It was going to be a short story, that part of an anthology, and I didn't really have an idea, but I just actually had the name pop into my head first, and I don't know if this is the right way to create a story, but I had the name, and then I just started kind of digging out. In a way, it reminds me of like the way sculptors talk about sculpting. It's like they say, like it's already there. They're just peeling away the rock to show it. And I kind of feel like that's what it was for me. It was just like opening the door and stepping into a world and just kind of seeing what was going on. And the more I kind of played around with ideas and took different turns into what the story would be about, the more excited I got about it, the more real the characters got to me, the more everything just kind of started blossoming into a bigger reality. So now I have, admittedly, I don't have the entire story, blocked out. I have the concept there, but the first issue really solidified it for me for who the characters are going to be, what twists are going to be in place. And I knew I wanted a story that was going to be about a person who didn't know much about their background. They just kind of wake up. And so we're kind of like, as the audience, we're thrust in with him into this world of like, he's just waking up to it. So that's like we as the readers are propelled into the story with him. And we just have there's a sense of all this darkness and I don't know what, but these creatures that are coming out of the veil. And just think of our typical 1920s city, not a really huge city, but a city. It's just nobody's really used to this kind of stuff. They might have a murder, they have crime, but suddenly they're thrust in with these supernatural, whatever the heck these things are, and people are freaked out. And the police force they have no idea what to make of this. Some of it might be rumor. Some of it, they have no idea in the perspective of people in the 20s that like even what to make of this kind of stuff. So they're kind of in over their heads. And this figure that wakes up every night doesn't recall where he is during the day. And so, but he feels compelled he wakes up to having these newspaper clippings in front of him that depict some of the stuff that's happening, all this horrendous stuff that's happening. And he feels compelled to do something about it. So that's sort of the overarching premise that kind of launches us into the story. And I knew I wanted to do a twist. I didn't want to do Hyde as the bad guy. He's sort of like, I don't know if he's an anti-hero. I guess he's sort of an anti-hero. But he doesn't look like your typical chiseled jaw do-gooder. He looks like a freak. But he knows his compulsion to help is not bad. So we had like this play of like, what does it mean to be evil? What does it mean to be good? How do you define yourself when A, you don't really know who you are, and B, you look like the thing that everybody would want to see. Everybody would want to tag as the bad guy. Like you look like the thing, but you personally don't feel like that thing. So it's like this, sort of an existential question going into it. But I also want to keep it like how I want to read comics. I don't want to read like a comic that's just, I don't want to read Sandman. I mean, I do want to read Sandman, but I'm not going to write that kind of like really in-depth text heavy comic. I want to do it more like Invincible, which is like, it's just kind of some fun banter. It's enough dialogue to propel you forward. It's interesting. There's a fun element to it. There's definitely a hardcore element to it, and have interesting characters that just are relatable. And it's not character heavy. There's just some characters that are important. So I want to create that. I want to create a world that has some memorable characters and is fun and has a little bit of intrigue to it, and also has a lot of monsters because I really love doing monsters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was like one of the things that I was thinking about. Like, if I did a Kickstarter, what as a person who backs Kickstarters, like what kind of things do I enjoy? So I was thinking of that when I went into it, and things like the little knickknacks, the things that kind of like are part of the story that make you think like, oh, this is definitely pulled from the pages. So I like one of the ideas was like this, have a potion that looks cool, and it has like that swirly effect to it. But to me, that would really fit into, that's part of that world. This is one of those things that you would expect in a Jekyll and Hyde story. Is like there's got to be a potion, got to be a formula. So yeah, I thought that would be cool too, and they're not that hard to make. So I thought that would be cool to kind of put that as one of the things to see if anybody would be interested in that. And then the other thing is, because I like taking on too many different projects, but it's also for me, because I want to have a figure too, but I wanted to do a 3D statue of Hyde, done in, as close to my style as I can, but something that represents that character in full dimension, 3D dimension of like, this is him. This is what he looks like from all different angles. So I thought that would be cool to have. Yeah. So, I mean, I think those are the key perks that I have. And then, I have your amazing cover that you supplied. That one's cool. We're going to do, I definitely think I'm going to do that green foil idea. So that'll look wild. And then I got Sean McManus to do a cover. So that really specific, he just has a way to make things kind of look like they're from the 1920s. So yeah, I mean, he did his, and I didn't want to put any kind of constrictions on how people rendered. I mean, kind of, as long as they kind of generally had his look, I wanted to kind of like say, do it in your style. And so I really enjoyed seeing how everybody, did rendered Hyde in their style. It's been pretty cool. And so I have my cover, and I have your cover, and I have Sean's cover. That I think is just, and to me, it's really wild that I have had this opportunity to do this, and hopefully it gets out there. It's weird seeing myself. Really cool updates that I wanted to share with you that involves the covers. I reached out to some artists, and the response I got, the covers I got back are amazing. So I wanted to share this with you. I got a cover from James Sullivan, aka Sketching the Beast. He's got this really wild looking concept, and the thing about doing a green foil stamped on that one, it is going to look slick. And I reached out to an artist that you might have heard of that goes by the name of Sean McManus, that is of legendary status in my mind. He's big influence. He's worked at DC, Vertigo. He did Dr. Fate back in the 90s, I think. But just incredible stuff. And he responded, and so he's got this amazing cover that he's done. His style just perfectly fits. If you've ever seen his stuff, it perfectly fits like the Hyde look. So that one is also done, and I am super psyched for all these covers. I mean, you got mine too, if you care about that kind of thing. But these other covers are wild, and so I just want to share this with you. So without further ado, I'm just going to show all three covers. So first, you got mine. Okay, and then we've got Sketching the Beast. Flip. There it is. And now we've got Sean McManus. Schwap. Yeah, man. Super cool stuff. So I'm really excited about this stuff. I really hope the Kickstarter goes well. I want to get this book out to everybody. I'm pleased with the story, and I think you will be too, especially if you love monsters and mystery and what else? Other monsters. I am planning to launch it April 2nd.
Okay, cool.
That's the plan.
That's weird. What happened to you? Yeah. I don't. So we're having some technical difficulties. I can't tell what's happening. Just removed everybody from this scene just because I stopped sharing my thing. Ruh-roh. All right, hold on 1 second, guys. Sweetenly. Oh, no, it's frozen up. Uh-oh. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, it says we're live, but the actual video stream is not working for some reason. What is happening? Okay, now we are back. Sort of. There we are. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. I don't love them. Too many to count today. But it's episode 1. It's episode 1. Don't hold us to it.
That's right.
Oh, hey, what up, Matt? It says, don't tell me to say hello. Say hello. What's going on, boss? How you doing tonight? Matt is another artist, not too far from here. Matt, how did your convention go? Right, you were at C2. Oh no, you're going to C2. Is that correct? Are you excited? Pumped? What happened?
Well, I am okay.
What's it? Oh, it's on a laptop. I left it open on the laptop for you. Sorry. we're learning our ways, guys. We're learning.
You are so awful.
Yes, I'm awful. I'm sorry. Well, to be fair, right? No one's been available to do a testing, so we just went head first into it. All right, let me share my video.
I'm doing an unboxing. Is that all right?
Oh yeah, sure. What do you unboxing?
You will see, as long as I don't accidentally cut it with my knife.
You will see young Kimosabe.
Why? This is really... There's that one. Oh my.
We're gonna highlight you real quick. Email, here's good at unboxing.
Oh, one more. There we go.
Got it? Open. Oh.
Yeah, look at that. Can you see that? Ooh. So that's what it is. See that?
Oh, we sent you the original. Nice, dude.
Right? That's mine to keep.
That's sick, bro. Is that going on your wall?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was a little bit of a contention point between me and the wifey, but that was.
We don't listen to wife.
I got a little. I mean, we had a lot of things going on at once. I mean, she had some health things that was to move forward with decisions on stuff, and I didn't want to keep going back and forth with her on all these things. So it was just like I had to make the choice. I had to make the call of whether or not I was going to bring him on or not. And I just like said, no, I'm going to do it. I mean, she knew I was reaching out to him, and that we were trying to work out something, but she didn't know that I actually went forward with it and pulled the trigger. And so she was like, what? But it worked out in the end. I mean, she was concerned about that I still had to pay him, and I was like, no, it's already handled. We worked out a good deal, and so
Nice.
it was all right.
Well, glad that worked out, dude.
It was just a shock.
It's going to be a big draw once it goes through. Once the Kickstarter starts.
Yep. Lesson being, always consult the wife before making big financial decisions.
All right, give me 1 second, and then we'll chat about our next little topic. One more.
No, he's coming to beat me.
Oh my goodness! Ow.
What?
All right, I did beat you. Seems like we have officially lost Stamp for the night.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
No one can sit him. All right, hold on.
We know why.
Oh, so Chris can't currently see the chat. We're working on it at the moment. Very, very half-cocked. Have you ever got comics graded before?
I have not. In fact, I don't understand it. I mean, I understand it, but the trend completely misses me. But so I have not done it. I imagine it's for essentially like if you are absolutely a collector, right?
Like now. Yeah, if you're, it's for the collect. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm 50-50 on it because a lot of people, like, you have a comic and it's, even if it's not worth anything, people still get it graded because they like want to encapsulate it forever. You know what I mean? Like, so it never goes bad. I guess that's one. It's more than I guess just buying and selling, but yeah. So I guess CBCS is closing its doors for new submissions at the end of April or April 15th, I believe. So yeah, that's interesting news. That's going to mean a lot of work for CGC and their grading.
Okay.
So I thought that was very noteworthy to talk about this week. Is why do you think that they would do that? You just don't. I mean, is it like it's got to be the just lack of business? They said to concentrate on their efforts of the business. Is the reason behind it, but that, like, people are submitting to you and paying you money. There has to be money coming in, right? Like, it's weird.
But they didn't give a reason as to why they're doing that?
No, just to concentrate on the other aspects of their business was all they said. Yeah. It was a weird one.
And when did they announce that? Like this week?
Just today, I think.
Oh wow!
Or last night. Yeah. Yeah, right before New Comic Book Day. They're like, yeah, we're gonna make sure we go out with a bang. Grade all the comics you can this week. Send them in. We're gonna cut them off at some point. But I wonder. I'm curious what that means for what things are going to be like going forward. I mean, we obviously have CGC to pick back up from that, but in the same exact vein, like, does that now CGC is going to have a lot on their plate? I mean, cbcs wasn't like the most prominent of the two. Like, a lot of people still use CGC, but
right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
That's the one I'm familiar with.
Yeah, what the market looks like. So they're still going to do like grading cards and stuff, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure CGC just decided they were going to stop doing cards and stuff. So it's really weird, and weird timing, I guess. I don't know. Any thoughts?
No, because I originally was thinking you were talking about the big boy CGC. So I'm not.
No, I'm doing that. Yeah.
So I'm not like greatly familiar with the other guys. I think the ones that I've seen at Baltimore Comic Con was CGC.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of like what would change, because it seems like the market is still there, like you were saying, like there's still people that would want it.
Right. It's very I don't know. It's an interesting landscape. It's not something that I'm really a part of. I just I thought it was worth mentioning and worth talking about. If anybody in the chat has any thoughts on that, let us know. What do you think is going to happen? Probably nothing, but the market, it always seems to prevail, if that makes sense. But
so do you have comics that you've had graded that, I don't know, like maybe you had a comic from a long time ago and then you had it graded, or you just have like newer ones that you've done, or do you have any that you've done?
I don't have any. Yeah, no, I've never had a comic graded ever. I wanted to get the cover I did of Rogue where Lenore Zan had signed it. I wanted to get that slabbed. I actually had always thought slabbing your comics was super expensive. But that's only true if you're doing a crud ton of them.
Okay.
Because per book, right? I guess I always thought they based the value. They based the cost of the slabbing based on the value of the book, which is not true. So I don't know how I got that information, but that is not true. It's like $30 a book. Sometimes I think it's for older books. Yeah, it's a little bit more. And then if you want to get it like, cleaned and whatever else, it's an upcharge too. And I'm sure that's a lot to keep up with, like having employees for all that stuff. But in the same exact vein, I don't know. I don't know. I always thought it was very expensive, but it turns out it's fairly cheap, which makes me feel better about the process because I'm like, what are you paying for? You're paying for somebody to put your comic book in a piece of plastic. and this is not to say for those who collect that way that that's wrong.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion. Like, I like to be able to pick up a book and read it when I need to, which you obviously cannot do when it's
That's where, for me, it's weird because like I recently I recently rescued my entire comic collection from my parents' house before the bank took it. and it was like two full file cabinets, and then just like I can't remember how many long boxes, like 10 long boxes or something. But and then I was going through all that stuff, and it was just wild seeing like some of the really old comics that I had, like, and just the stuff that I don't even hear anybody talk about. Like one of the ones that I thought was really cool back in the day was called Arak, Arak, and it was like it was kind of like I guess because Conan was big, but it was sort of like it was kind of like a ripoff of Conan, but he was Native American, and they started out with just some of your basic, like he fights guys with swords and stuff, and then as it went on, it really got wild. It got into like Greek mythology, and then he was like fighting like gorgons, and he was fighting like what else, like dragons and harpy. He fought a harpy. He fought centaurs. So it really got super wild and cool, like the further along it got. But I don't hear anybody talking about that thing, and I love that comic. And so when I found those comics, I was like, oh wow, I really remember this. And I was like going back through, like looking through the comic, and then I was thinking, like, would I want these graded? Because then they're just in plastic, and I can't. I mean, on one sense, it's like it's preserved. So it's no longer going to get that yellowing and all that crap that happens. But then this other side is like, I can't flip through it anymore.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think at some point I'll still end up getting a few things graded. Because I do have some comics that I don't think I will open because they are so valuable now. Like, didn't even realize that they were valuable. Until like a couple years ago, and I'm like, oh geez, maybe I should get these slabbed and stuff. But yeah, dude, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. It's I guess it's a nice to have. I don't think it's as necessary as some people make it seem like you need to have your stuff done. But I guess there's a somebody for everything in the market. The market. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of goes with that too.
Yeah.
Anyways, have you seen the Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man trailer dropped last week?
I have seen it.
What did you think?
So I don't know. I'm torn with superhero movies now. I feel like I mean, I don't know. Spider-Mans have always been pretty good.
Yeah.
The MCU stuff, they were just really missing the mark with me. The more they went on, like I was thinking back to like the first Iron Man movie and just how incredible that was, and then it almost feels like they fired all pistons early, and then it just got diluted, and they kind of lost their magic as it went on. And then it became to the point where I'm watching movies, and it's just like this should be, this should be like exciting, that inner child in me that never had superhero movies. I mean, we like back in the 80s or whatever, when we really wanted superhero movies, and everything they brought out was just such trash. The effects were so bad. I mean, we had Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk, but I mean, it doesn't compare to what the Hulk is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
So like, and I'm sitting there watching like the new Marvel stuff and thinking I should be freaking out with excitement, and it was just like lackluster. So in one sense, I want to be excited, but I've also learned that if I just kind of keep my response tempered and just kind of keep my expectations really low, I end up enjoying the movie more than if I get really excited about it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I often do that with a lot of shows, regardless of how many trailers I've seen for it.
Yeah.
A lot of the Marvel shows were like that. It was like, it's either going to be good, it's going to be bad, and we had some hits, we had some misses, and yeah, I've kind of unfortunately, I'm with you. I've become a little like almost a little numb to the movies now, which kind of is unfortunate because it's like I live for that. Like hero movies are great to see. Like the characters I grew up with being in movies and stuff. And I think part of the problem though is like we obviously have our own image and expectations, and sometimes the movies may or may not live up to that, and sometimes Disney likes to push their own agendas, and yeah, no, definitely not. So and I think that kind of does what's the word I'm looking for? Muddy the well a little bit with the movies and the quality, which kind of sucks to see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this one. I don't want to get my hopes up.
Yeah.
But I really do. I actually am really enjoying Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I liked Tobey Maguire. A lot of people didn't like Tobey Maguire, except for in Spider-Man 3. That was just a weird movie. I don't know what.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. Yeah, that one kind of lost me.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this one. I'd be interested to see what they're doing with like he's like mutating, maybe becoming more actually like. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm kind of curious because like other than they have to be doing something interesting with the plot, and like I guess the villain that they've been talking about, who everybody thinks the villain is, which I guess the trailer kind of confirmed. I'm actually not familiar with the villain because I'd never read that part of the series. But yeah, I'm interested where they're gonna go with that. Like, are we gonna see a six-armed freaking Tom Holland Spider-Man, or what's gonna like? You know what I mean? Like, where's this land?
Yeah, because didn't they have a story where he continued to mutate and he was actually more arachnoid-like?
Yeah.
I don't think I was reading that one, but
he looked like he looked like a spider. They even did it in the animated series that I grew up on. What kind of got me into Spider-Man, and I mean it was cool, it was definitely very cool. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see where they go with this. I'm very it's a good thing. They want to keep me engaged, so that they've done that, I think.
Yeah, I've been purposefully avoiding any kind of reaction or any kind of like people trying to dig too much into the trailer. I've just watched the trailer, made up my own opinion about it, and said, looks kind of cool. And that was it. I did like that one shot that they have of him, like he dives off the bridge and it's like inside his mask. I thought that was very well approached.
Yeah. Oh, show. Let's see what we got. Christy, can you see the chat?
Yes, he just says, hello, guys.
What up?
We are talking about the Spider-Man trailer.
Oh, that's Bamf.
He found his way back.
Yeah.
Did he, though? Did he?
chat. Yeah, you're in the wrong spot, buddy. You're in the wrong spot. You're supposed to be on the show. What are you doing? His daughter must have woken up from her nap or something.
So let me ask, do you, I assume you do, but you still read and collect comics?
Yes, I do, but I don't read them as often.
Oh, okay.
I have a stack like this of books that I still read through. I mean, it doesn't help that one of them is like this thick, but
oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm reading so many series that I'm like, it's just tough to keep up. I got Radiant Black is like number one on my list. I want to read. I got Radiant Black. I got Rogue Sun. I'm trying to get through the new Absolute series. I have the first novel of those two, of Batman and Wonder Woman. I got Invincible. I picked up Invincible number 1 and number 2. I'd like to read those. Yeah, I got tons of stuff. Yeah, tons of things to. I just got something in. What did I just get in? Shoot. Oh, Battle Beast. I did read Battle Beast because it was a short read. It was the story was very much told through the action and not the words, so it was a quick read.
Absolutely.
I did appreciate the art, which inspired one of the covers I did a couple weeks ago for commission. And so yeah, I read when I can. I don't read as much as I'd like to because I'm just so busy, man. That's I guess the downside of work in a business, having kids, having a day job, all that stuff.
Yeah, me. He's being polite.
Yeah,
it's you. I'm needy, not letting me do his work.
Nice. Yep, totally you. That's your fault. I blame you. It's okay. I still love you.
And do you find that you kind of gravitate towards trade or floppies, or how do you work that?
Yeah, trade backs. The only time that I'll collect floppies is if I like the art that much, because I know I won't get it on a trade back.
Yeah.
What the heck is this guy's color? He's like purple and yellow, yeah? Start coloring him. And then we could probably actually it's way past. It's 10 o'clock already, guys. I didn't even realize.
10 o'clock.
We've been chatting so long. All right, well, you know what we'll do? We'll wrap it up for the night, guys. Thank you for the people who did tune in and say hello. Malbert, where can they find Private Hide on Kickstarter? They just go right through you, or what's the best way? And I'll put the link in the description as well on the video.
I guess the best way is to go to my Instagram, which would be at Mantlebeard, and there's a link in the bio. I wish I had a website, but I don't have it yet. So yeah, that would probably be the best, easiest, most direct way to find it. To my Instagram, again, that's at Mantlebeard, and yeah, that'll take you to the Kickstarter pre-launch page.
Awesome. Anything else you want to plug while we're still here?
I don't know. What do I want to plug?
Well, if you don't got anything, it's fine. If you haven't already, feel free to. Oh, hold on, we got another comment here. What does it say? We got snarky.
What happened to that dork?
I don't know what happened with dork. It fell off.
We still have plenty of dorks.
Yeah. He's voted off the island. Yeah. So for those of you who are tuning in now or later, I'm Sketch of the Beast. You can find me at Sketching the Beast, literally on any social media that you perhaps like to follow. Feel free to give us a subscribe and give us a like here if this is the type of content you want to see, regardless of how how many hiccups we had tonight. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. For those of you who are in the New York area, I'm going to be, me and my wife, Crafty Quirk. We're going to be at Syracuse Collectors Con this weekend. So pop on up to Syracuse if you're in the area and you want to get some sweet art or some awesome 3D printed things. And everybody that follows my Patreon while at the thing is going to get a collectible card. So we're gonna highlight it. It is a card of Shredder. Hopefully that is visible somewhat. So you get a collectible card. You give me a follow on Patreon. Again, I'm on Patreon. I'll have links to that. It is also on my website, sketchthebeast.com. And this was a lot of fun. We're going to do this every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So bookmark it, put it on your calendar, tune in, and we're going to have a lot of fun, guys. This is going to be an awesome show. We're going to have some guests on. I'm already into talks with a couple people that want to maybe potentially pop on and talk about their projects. And then obviously we're going to have a good time with Mandelbeard once he launches his project as well. And we get to harass him every week about it. And we're just going to have a lot of good fun. So, and then Chrissy, anything you want to plug?
Nope, I got nothing. I'm seeing Syracuse.
All right, rock on. Well, if you want to check out her stuff, you head on over to craftyquirk.com. She's got tons of fun fidget.
For Captain Show always.
All right, rock on, dude. Well,
if you would like to see Michael, come earlier. If you would like to not talk to Michael, come later.
There you go.
There you go. Boom. Yeah, we'll see which half the streamer, the followers and watchers land on. Just kidding. we'll all have a great time. Thank you again, Mandelbeard, for joining me, and of course my lovely wife as well. Thank you guys. This was this was fun. Next week we'll have this much more ironed out. We'll see y'all then.
See ya.
Peace out.